Hello everyone, and welcome back to Secrets Behind the Stars. If you enjoy spending time with us, please tap like, subscribe, and consider supporting the channel by hitting the join button below. Now, let's step into the story that has the entire Turkish entertainment world buzzing. In recent days, the industry was rattled by a sudden and unfair smear campaign that took aim at one of television's most beloved faces, Hazal. What began as a whisper on social platforms exploded into a wildfire. Posts and comments multiplied at a dizzying pace, feeding a narrative that had no reliable grounding. Fans watched in disbelief as baseless chatter found oxygen, and frustration turned to anger as certain corners of the internet treated hearsay like proof. Even without a shred of verified evidence, the noise grew larger and louder. Hazal's name was pulled into threads and timelines that made her out to be the center of a storm she didn't create. At first, Hazal chose silence, a cautious, measured hope that this wave would crest and fall if she refused to give it extra momentum. She focused on her work, her home life, her daily routines, expecting the digital tide to recede. But the pressure intensified. Each new rumor felt like a fresh hit, and the expectation to respond, right now, in real time, mounted. Sources close to the couple say the stress reached a point where Hazal decided to step back from the spotlight temporarily. Not as a retreat of guilt, but a conscious pause, to protect her peace, to breathe, and to keep any quick reaction from pouring oil on a fire that didn't deserve to burn in the first place. For someone who prides herself on honesty and professionalism, the feeling of being misrepresented cut deep. In the midst of that weight, Çağatay Ulusoy stepped forward with a steady hand. Those who have worked with him know his quiet professionalism, his calm, and the way he prioritizes people over headlines. He kept in close touch with Hazal through calls and messages, checking in early, late, and in the moments between. When schedules allowed, he visited her, choosing private comfort over public performance. According to sources, his words were simple and firm. The truth doesn't always shout, but it never disappears. He urged her to hold her ground, reminding her that she didn't owe anyone a spectacle to prove she had done nothing wrong. That mixture of warmth and resolve became her anchor. It's one thing to support someone behind the scenes, it's another to be seen doing it. When photos surfaced online of Hazal and Çağatay sharing a quiet coffee after a long day, social media ignited. Some were candid shots taken from a distance, the kind that capture the still, human moments between two people who know each other well. Fans rallied instantly, lifting both of them with messages of love and loyalty. A simple tag, #Hazal, trended, threading together supportive posts and heartfelt comments. In those hours, the tone shifted, away from unfounded claims and toward community, care, and a collective stand against slander. Colleagues and public figures added their voices, offering solidarity and gently reminding followers that defamation doesn't just bruise individuals, it harms everyone who believes in the dignity of the craft. The entertainment world thrives on stories, but it collapses when stories are twisted into tools for harm. That reminder mattered. It reframed the conversation from sensationalism to responsibility. Experts weighed in as well, speaking about the emotional toll of online vilification. They talked about how being constantly observed can make even the most grounded artist feel trapped in a hall of mirrors, where every reflection distorts something true. For someone like Hazal, talented, visible, and balancing career and family, the stakes are uniquely personal. There's a difference between critique and cruelty, between curiosity and a pile-on. And when the lines blur, the fallout is real. Sleep disrupted, appetite gone, concentration fractured by an endless chorus of dings, mentions, and alerts. Yet through this, sources close to Hazal say she remained centered on what she could control. She spent time with family, leaned into the rhythms that make her feel safe and whole, and began carefully mapping out her next steps. One of those steps, according to those same sources, involved consulting with professionals about possible legal action. Not as a spectacle but as a needed mechanism to protect her name. Quietly, meticulously, she began documenting timelines, screenshots, context. It wasn't about revenge, it was about drawing a line, for herself and for others who might be dragged into the same undertow. Meanwhile, Çağatay maintained a steady, discreet presence. He didn't chase cameras or craft performative statements, he simply showed up. On set, he was focused. Off set, he checked in. The partnership they've cultivated over years, through shared sets, shared successes, and shared pressures, stood out as something sturdy in a world that can feel slippery. People noticed. They saw that in a high-gloss industry, there are bonds that don't need to be polished to shine. When a short video clip leaked, just a few seconds of Hazal and Çağatay laughing in a car, no audio beyond the soft hum of traffic, it became a kind of bomb. In that small piece of life, viewers recognized authenticity, two people finding a moment of ease while the world buzzed around them. The comments sections filled with a simple sentiment: stay strong. Not every day brought something new, sometimes the sheer absence of escalation was the victory. And in those days, the support only deepened. As the days passed, op-eds and threads tried to parse what had happened. How an unverified spark can become a bonfire within hours, how algorithms reward emotional extremes, how our hunger for novelty sometimes mistakes harm for entertainment. Awareness began to spread. This wasn't just about one actor, one couple, or one rough moment. It was about the digital street we all walk down, and the way we choose to behave on it. The narrative turned toward accountability. Still, the question lingered: would Hazal speak publicly? Would she deliver a statement, an interview, even a carefully written post to set the record straight? Friends hinted that if she did speak, it would be on her own timeline and in her own voice, rooted in the same steadiness that guided her from the start. And that's the heart of it, choosing not to let the timing be dictated by the very storm she never invited. Behind the scenes, the couple's circle emphasized routine. Good meals, sunlight, long walks, scripts reviewed in quiet corners, music humming softly in the background. There's a restorative power in the ordinary, especially when the digital world feels anything but. Through it all, Hazal kept collecting the pieces that mattered: documents, records, and the knowledge that she was moving with care, not fear. If legal steps are taken, they will be considered and precise, a signal to everyone watching that reputation is not a toy to be tossed around in the comments. And then came a turning point, subtle but meaningful. A respected colleague posted a brief note, a reminder that the truth travels at its own pace, and that silence is not an admission but sometimes a shield. The post didn't name names, it didn't need to. Those who understood felt the message land. Soon, the conversation was less about what was said and more about what was unsaid, the line between curiosity and cruelty. Bit by bit, the center of gravity shifted. What remains undeniable is the role that real support plays. In an industry where schedules are relentless and egos can be loud, the quiet loyalty that Hazal and Çağatay have shown each other has been a lesson. No performative grand gestures, just constant presence. He offered reassurance without pressure. She accepted care without collapsing into the narrative others tried to write for her. Together, they modeled what it looks like to protect not just a career, but a sense of self. Today, the public waits for Hazal's next move. If and when she chooses to address the situation directly, her words could reshape the story, closing the door on rumor, and opening a conversation about accountability that stretches far beyond her own experience. And for all those who felt the sting of baseless talk, such a moment could be a beacon. Until then, the sight of her alongside Çağatay, focused, grounded, and quietly resolute, remains a bright point in a storm that is already losing momentum. This chapter has underscored something easy to forget in a scroll: truth still matters. So does loyalty. In a world that spins fast, the most powerful acts can be the simplest ones. Standing beside the person you love, refusing to be baited by noise, and protecting your peace without surrendering your voice. That's the story we're watching, not the rumor, but the resilience. We'll keep tracking every development and bring you thoughtful, careful updates as they come, right here at Secrets Behind the Stars. What do you think? Was this barrage a calculated attempt to damage Hazal's career, or just another example of how reckless the online rumor mill can be? Share your thoughts below, and let us know how you think public figures should respond when they're pushed into the spotlight for all the wrong reasons. Thank you for watching, take gentle care of yourselves, and we'll see you in the next video. Until then, from all of us at Secrets Behind the Stars, goodbye.